Welcome to the Grace Street Church of Christ podcast. Here you will find a collection of our weekly sermons, our preacher's daily radio program, and other occasional resources. Our hope is this platform helps you grow in your relationship with Jesus Christ and seek a relationship with His church.
Well, it's Friday. It's the day after Thanksgiving. And I have to ask you the question in light of our discussion this week. I have to ask us the question, how thankful are we? I know we just celebrated Thanksgiving, a holiday dedicated to the idea of being grateful and expressing that gratitude. But how grateful are we? And not just during the week of Thanksgiving, or not just on that special, unique Thursday in November, but how grateful are we, or how much gratitude manifests itself in our life, in what we say, certainly, but also in what we do, how we act. On a daily basis, all the rest of the year. Gratitude is a fundamental characteristic of those who understand, of those who appreciate, of those who have appropriated the good things that God has to offer, who recognize God's grace, God's mercy. We talked about yesterday having learned from this story, this event of 10 lepers and only one of them finding time to return and tell Jesus, thank you, basically. We learn a couple of things, actually several things. One of them is how easy it is to overlook God's grace, but also that gratitude is more than words. It's easy to say thank you, even though, to be honest, sometimes we don't even find time to do that. It's easy to say thank you or to express gratitude, but it's a whole other matter to live that gratitude or demonstrate that gratitude in the way we live, in the priorities that we set. Because you see, if we really are grateful for God's grace and God's mercy, it has to have an impact. It has to have an influence. It has to transform our minds in the way that we think, in the way that we respond, in the way that we react in every situation. Rather than being bitter, for example, we find the glass half full rather than half empty most of the time. We find reasons to rejoice and to be happy rather than being discontented by not having the things that we see other people maybe have. But another lesson, and maybe the most important one of all, is that in this story, in this record, we discover that God considers gratitude as praise to God. In other words, we're worshiping God, we're praising God, we're glorifying God when we express gratitude. Not just with our words, and I don't mean to downplay that, because a prayer of gratitude is a wonderful thing. In fact, it plays an important role maybe even in affecting our attitude and our actions. But living our lives characterized by thankfulness and gratitude. I want to challenge you this week. Let's let Thanksgiving not just be an annual 1 week or 1 day holiday. Let's make it a way of life.
You've been listening to the Grace Street Church of Christ podcast. Our weekly worship services are available online on YouTube, and you can keep up to date on other events and news on our Facebook page or website. If you live in the Houston County area and are looking for a church family, please join us on Sundays at 10:45 a.m. for worship and Bible classes at 9:30 a.m. as well as 6 o'clock p.m. on Wednesday nights. Call us at 936-544-3325 or email us at office@gracestreetcoc.us with any needs, questions, or prayer requests. We hope this teaching has been a blessing to you as we strive to honor God together.